In standard historical manuscripts, a consistent rule applies. When a scribe changes a vowel or alters a spelling, it is classified as a transmission error, a corruption of the original data. When we examine the canonical readings of the Quran, known as the Qur'at, that assumption is reversed. Here, variation functions as an engineered feature. This is the concept of the Quranic Prism. Just as a glass prism takes a single beam of light and reveals its component spectrum, the phonetic shifts in these readings superimpose distinct perspectives. A change in a single vowel allows the text to present both the human effort behind an action and the objective result of that action simultaneously. This is lossless integration. The architecture of the script stacks multiple layers of meaning into a single word, building a multi-dimensional scene without increasing the length of the text. We can map this process across 4 dimensions: theology, psychology, syntax, and etymology. To understand how these layers interact, we have to treat the text as a hyper-optimized data structure. Redefining variation as a tool for multiplication reveals a linguistic architecture designed for maximum semantic density. The first dimension is the theological morphology, where microscopic shifts define the nature of authority. In the opening chapter, the Fatiha, the variation between Maliki and Maliki synthesizes 2 concepts. One reading describes a proprietor with total possession of physical reality. The other describes a sovereign king with the power of judicial command. This same mechanic maps the psychology of hypocrisy. The variations in the verb to deceive create a feedback loop of delusion. The reading Yukadiyuna describes the internal state of the subject, an ongoing continuous effort to maintain a deception. The variant Yakdauna strips away that effort to show the objective outcome. The deception fails, affecting only the deceivers themselves. We see this cause and effect relationship in the account of Adam. One reading, Fa'azalahuma, isolates the specific slip into sin. The other, Fa'azalahuma, documents the resulting removal from paradise. These shifts act as a temporal overlay, allowing the text to document the action and its consequence within the same lexical space. The second dimension involves the kinematics of syntax, where shifting the roles of subject and object redefines agency. In the scene of Adam's repentance, the grammar inverts. One reading has Adam seeking out words of prayer, the other has the divine words descending to find Adam. The description of the resurrection uses a similar duality. A passive reading shows humanity being driven by divine force, while an active variant shows a natural, compliant return to the source. Combined, these readings define the return as both an irresistible external power and an internal law of nature. This relationship is formalized in the promise of forgiveness. The active reading emphasizes the honor of the forgiver, while the passive variant focuses on the certainty of the result for the one forgiven. Even grammatical case endings are used as logical gates. Shifting from the nominative to the accusative case creates a specific negation that precludes the possibility of intercession for those who reject the path. Syntax variations function as dual vectors, balancing human volition with established divine law. The third dimension covers micro-rhetoric, the engineering of historical roots and acoustic impact. The title for prophet draws from 2 roots simultaneously. One implies elevation, while the other refers to bringing news. Similarly, the Sabian identity uses 2 roots, leaving a path and an innate inclination toward the truth. The covenant at Sinai is presented as both a mutual agreement, requiring Moses' preparation, and a unilateral gift from the Creator. The text also utilizes acoustic engineering. In certain readings, dropping a vowel increases the phonetic speed of the word to induce a sense of awe in the listener. This is paired with iltifat, a rhetorical shift in perspective. By switching from the third person to the second person, the text moves from describing a subject to confronting them directly. These auditory and etymological layers allow the text to manipulate emotion and time with a precision that exceeds simple dictionary definitions. This density raises a technical question. How was this data physically preserved for over a millennium? The solution is the Uthmanic Razm, the skeletal script. It was designed as a hyper-efficient cognitive container. Because the early script lacked diacritical dots, a single graphic shape could house multiple oral readings. The dots differentiating a ta from a ya fit the exact same base. The script provides flexible housing for a rigid oral tradition. The removal of diacritics was a deliberate optimization, keeping the visual footprint stable while allowing for multiple dimensions of oral meaning. This creates the full theoretical matrix, where every theological and psychological layer we've discussed is contained within a single physical infrastructure. The Uthmanic script is a masterpiece of information architecture, designed to be flexible in recitation while remaining visually fixed on the page. These variants bring the text into focus, resolving different facets of a single reality. If we reverse the prism, we see the synthesis. These distinct readings converge to form a unified, coherent intent. The text uses the minimum number of characters to generate the maximum possible semantic area. This synthesis creates a 3D mapping of the subject, filling the gaps that usually exist within human linguistic limitations. It functions as a living structure, an environment built specifically to carry complex meaning. The Quran's structure is not a historical accident, but a calculated feature of its design. We are looking at a system of structural cohesion, where every vowel shift corresponds to a specific, intended dimension of reality.